What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play No One Lives Forever. Last time, we talked to the Baron Archibald Dumas and had a most invigorating conversation with him, where we learned so much about the type of man that he is. And now we get to do another debrief level, which is called Further Investigation Required. When Kate presents her findings to her superiors, the only thing anyone can agree upon is that more evidence is required. Fortunately, Unity has a plan.
Well done, Agent Archer. You may redeem yourself yet. In the meantime, don't get cocky. There's still work to be done. Command will fill you in on the details. Report there immediately. Is it possible he was putting on an act?
I don't think so, sir. I'm fairly confident the man is an imbecile.
I heard the tape and I gotta agree.
Still, it's clear that Dumas Industrial Enterprises is somehow linked to harm.
Well, didn't the Baron say that he wasn't really running the show anyway? Who's the vice president of the company?
According to our research, his name is Damascus Valentine.
DV.
What?
His initials, Damascus Valentine, Dmitry Volkov. Coincidence?
Seems rather tenuous. But nonetheless intriguing. In any case, we need to know what's in the safe the Baron mentioned to you. It won't be easy, naturally, but it could be the key to this investigation.
I'm looking forward to the challenge, sir.
That's the spirit. Mr. Smith, what did intelligence find out about the building?
It's a veritable fortress. Not only is there a suspiciously large and well-trained security staff, but they've also invested heavily in high-tech surveillance equipment, cameras, infrared alarm systems, the works. They must really have something to hide.
Our thoughts exactly.
So what's the plan? Who is going inside?
You are.
What? Why her? It's way too dangerous for a woman.
Oh, don't start with that again.
Before joining Unity, Agent Archer was something of an expert in, covert infiltration, one might say.
Breaking and entering, others might say.
Whatever the case, this assignment calls for stealth and subtlety.
Yeah, I know. Subtlety isn't my specialty. I still think it's too dangerous for her to go in alone.
Which is why you'll be providing a distraction for her downstairs.
I like the sound of that.
How do I get inside?
Attempting entry on the ground floor would be suicide even for an expert like Miss Archer. The only way in is through the roof access.
What did you have in mind? Am I going to have to parachute in?
Too imprecise. Fortunately, there's an alternative. Dumas Enterprises is erecting a second skyscraper right next to its corporate headquarters. Our surveillance photos suggest that if you can get to the top of the new building, you can use a crane to cross over to the roof of the old one.
The surveillance photos suggest that this is possible?
It will be close. You'll have a zip cord to cut the difference.
I see.
Once you're inside the building, you'll need to locate the president's office and find the safe. Photograph anything remotely suspicious.
We don't want to tip our hand, so leave everything as you found it. The less they know about our mission, the better. Now then, time is of the essence.
Yes, sir.
I have a feeling that the next level is going to be even cooler than the previous one. Also, for the first time ever, I kind of have to agree with Smitty on the whole tenuous speculation that Kate had. Because on the surface, I mean, it doesn't hurt to follow the lead, and knowing this game, it might end up being true, but if you think about it, just because a guy's initials are DV and Dmitry Volkov have the same initials does not mean that they are the exact same person. I think that just assuming that it's the same person just from the initials is grasping at straws. But again, could end up being true, who knows?
Welcome to Advanced Field Tactics. Here we have the Sphinx Series M Code Breaker. Simply attach it to a standard 10-key security pad, and it will run through a series of combinations until it breaks the code. The duration of this process is determined by the complexity of the code, so it may be advisable to hide until the procedure is complete. Try out your code breaker on this keypad.
I like the code breaker in the second game a lot more than this. But of course, this is the first game, so between this and the sequel, it's, or I should say that it's it's likely that this is just like a prototype of sorts, and then they upgraded it and made it better for the second game because there's, you know, they learned from this because it is much cooler and much more hidden.
We've added an infrared scanner to your sunglasses to help you circumvent the security systems you're likely to encounter. If you see suspicious-looking fixtures like these mounted on a wall, be sure to switch on your scanner lest you announce your presence unintentionally.
I gotta admit that the infrared scanners, or the infrared glasses, are actually really cool.
Excellent.
I'm bored. I never have any fun. Neither do I.
The Austin Powers girls again. Anyway, another very short debrief where we got introduced, well, we got story and then we got introduced to a couple new game elements that we'll be utilizing in the next chapter, which, by the way, also, there's the tie-in with the PS2 exclusive levels. So, obviously they explain, I mean, they did sort of subtly say it. They didn't flat out say it. They sort of subtly implied as to what, well, in a way it's subtle. Like the whole breaking and entering comment that Smitty made should very easily tip you off to what they were talking about, but still, they didn't just flat out say, oh, Kate used to be a thief. However, it's much more evident, obviously, if you played, or in the case of this playthrough, since I don't have the PS2 version and wouldn't be able to do it even if I wouldn't be able to let's play it even if I did have it, and the PC version doesn't have those 3 levels. So, if you've been following this playthrough, and you have watched the links that I provided those 2 times, then gives a little bit more of a insight into Kate's past. So it is a little bit more obvious as to what they were talking about. I just think it's a nice little addition, which wish they would have included in the PC version. I don't know why they added that to the console and didn't have it in the original, but then this isn't the first time the developers did that. Well, actually, obviously this game came out before Resident Evil 4, but I guess I should say that this isn't the only game that did that, because, as I've just said, Resident Evil 4, the original GameCube version didn't have the few modes that the later re-release on the PS2 did, which obviously then every subsequent iteration of the game included all those extra, well, those one or two game modes that, well, actually just one, really, separate ways. But I digress, I'm getting off track here. Anyway, hope you liked the new additions that we'll be using in the next level, and I shall catch you all in the next level. See ya.